watching Anime Advocate.
Enjoy the show!
Hello and welcome to the Anime Advocates, the show about what to watch and what to look for from ADV Films. I think it's no secret among my peers that I have been a huge fan of the girls with guns subgenre within anime for many years now. Whether it's from my love of heart-pumping action or the sheer spectacle of beautiful 2D women taking on entire armies, I can't say for sure. Well, okay, it's the latter. But if it has a chick brandishing a firearm on the cover, Lord knows I'll at least be curious to give it a look. Where did this obsession of mine start, you may ask? With this little show right here. The first and best installment in B-Train Productions' unique trilogy of Girls with Guns series, Noir holds a special place in my heart, not just as my introduction to the genre, but as the second anime show I truly fell in love with. Sadly, whatever impact it made has been severely limited, with just as many people nowadays quick to dismiss it for its pacing and tone as there are viewers who've embraced it. On today's show, I'll be putting forward the case for those who did embrace Noir and why it still ranks so highly among the series I've watched. Is it a forgotten masterpiece, or just a niche crowd pleaser? Let's take a look. Enjoying a cup of afternoon tea in her Paris apartment, assassin for hire Muriel Bouquet receives a cryptic email from a Japanese schoolgirl named Kirika Yumura, inviting her on a pilgrimage for the past. Initially dismissive of the request, she quickly changes her mind after the email plays back a haunting lullaby that she appears to recognise. Equating herself with the girl in Japan after the two are ambushed by a group of gun-wielding men, Muriel learns from Kirika that she is an amnesiac who remembers only two things: the word noir and her exceptional killing skills. Left with nothing but a fake ID, a pistol, and a pocket watch linked to mysterious circumstances in Muriel's past, Kirika is taken on board as the assassin's partner and to investigate their possible connection with each other on one condition. Once Kirika finds the answers she's looking for, Muriel will kill her for the sake of preserving her anonymity. Taking up business under the codename Noir, Muriel and Kirika take on a variety of assassination requests while piecing together clues about themselves and the black-suited individuals hell-bent on hunting them down. The Illuminati-esque organisation known only as the Soldats. The strongest component of Noir's story is the relationship between the two assassins. Muriel and Kirika are sublimely written characters whose interactions truly bring out the best in each other. Because of this, I'd argue a lot of the drama throughout the show simply comes from what perils they face that may ultimately tear them apart. Muriel lacks a lot of compassion when she first meets Kirika, the result of a cold upbringing following the death of her parents and the path she chose as an assassin. Through Kirika, however, she slowly comes to realise that, despite all the corruption and injustice in the world, there will always be people worth protecting, not the least of which her partner. Kirika, on the other hand, probably goes through the most compelling arc of all. When taken in by Muriel, she's very much a blank slate, an ambivalent individual who desperately clings on to whatever identity she may have once had. But in working alongside Muriel, she's given the chance to start her life afresh, allowing her to become the person she wants to be over the person she may or may not have been. Together, both characters rightfully serve as Noir's emotional core, from Muriel choosing to shoot her uncle over letting him hand over Kirika to the Soldats, to Kirika's heartwarming letter to Muriel towards the end of the series. The show evokes a beautiful connection between the two. Maybe it's sisterly, maybe it's something much more, as this actual clip from the show illustrates.
Let's go home and make tea instead.
Yes, and sleep in the same bed. Not that we're implying anything by that.
No, of course not, Snugglebums.
But whatever label you give it, Muriel and Kirika are simply one of the best female duos I've ever seen in an anime. Noir's antagonists are also very strong, fueling the mystery element of the series while also being fully fleshed out characters in their own right. Soldat's priestess Ultina is not so much a villain as she is a morally ambiguous figure. Having witnessed the horrors of war at a very young age, she is left with a very contorted view of the world where love kills and only hatred can save others. While outwardly benevolent, you get the sense that her focus lies beyond what the other Soldats have planned for the two protagonists, so much so she's even willing to kill her own associates to get her ambitions realised. Chloe, on the other hand, is a little more pathetic. On first encounter, she's unusually friendly towards our leading ladies, helping them out of tricky situations and even accepting Kirika's invitation for tea. As the series delves into her nurturing under Ultina, however, we discover she is perhaps little more than an attack dog for the Soldats. As far as Chloe's concerned, her only purpose in life is being one half of the true Noir that will achieve Alterna's goal of purging the world of sin as she sees fit. Because of this, she's very adamant in ensuring Kirika becomes the second half of the ritual, to the point of violent obsession near the end of the show. What few pleasant encounters she does have with Miriel and Kirika upon repeated viewings are therefore incredibly ominous. I just can't shake the feeling that, under different circumstances, all three girls could have been the best of friends. A common criticism levelled towards Noir is its slow pacing, the consensus being that the series takes too long in unravelling the mystery of the soul darts, with several episodes supposedly having little to do with advancing the main plot. Personally though, I always felt this slow pace worked more to the show's advantage rather than its detriment. As a slow-burning series, Noir very much takes you on a journey with the main characters. The first 9 episodes do a great job bringing Kirika, and by extension the audience, into Miriel's world, understanding the lifestyle of an assassin, whilst also raising moral and existential dilemmas about the profession. What does it mean to kill? Is it right to kill those who've attempted redemption? And most worryingly for Kirika, without friends or family, what legacy do you leave behind? Once Chloe is introduced in episode 10, the show really comes into its own. The stakes are raised with each new revelation about the soul darts, putting Miriel and Kirika through increasingly difficult trials that threaten not just their lives, but the partnership they've developed throughout the series. Without all that nice character building in a lot of the earlier episodes, I don't think the series finale would have felt nearly as earned. It's not perfect, and I will agree with many that the Intercobile 2-parter doesn't offer much aside from explaining how Miriel got a haircut, but in rewatching Noir several times, I can say with certainty that the show gets better and better with each new episode. It starts out quaint, but a combination of great characters, dramatic twists, and surprisingly evocative themes of identity and fate never fail in keeping me hooked until the very end. Released during a time when digital ink and paint were starting to become the norm for televised anime, Noir represents a sort of last hurrah for the traditional ink and paint methods that defined the medium for decades. And let me tell you, it's not a bad looking show to go out with. A lot of the backgrounds are breathtaking works of art, enhancing the show's atmosphere with vivid colours and appropriately moody film noir lighting. Taking the young assassins across the world almost every episode must have been a hell of a job for the artists, but they spared no expense making Noir's settings packed with detail. Hell, if any shot from the series is good enough to be my computer's lock screen, they must have done something right. Where the show skims a bit is in its actual character animation. While I love the stillness of Noir's character exchanges and the way in which they build dramatic tension, I can't entirely shake the feeling that a lot of them came about for budgetary reasons rather than artistic. The director was at least smart enough to incorporate a lot of interesting camera angles to disguise this limitation, but it is an issue that I feel severely contributes to people's perception of the series being too slow for their own enjoyment. The staging of the series' many action sequences more than make up for this shortcoming, however. Some are more elaborate than others, but you can definitely tell the animators put a lot of work into making each shootout unique from each other. The fight choreography is excellent, while the brisk editing and cinematography work harmoniously in delivering sequences that are exciting as they are visually dynamic. Noir may be a slow-paced series, but when it comes to action, it certainly knows how to grab your attention. The music for Noir was composed by B-Train regular Yuki Kojura, and it's probably the most successful element of the entire series. The sheer quality and variety of her compositions elicits such a wide spectrum of emotions for me that it's extremely difficult to put into words just how great I think they are. From the brilliant opening number Coppelia's Casket, I knew I was in for something great with Noir. And each new track from Kojura only succeeded in getting me pumped for every action sequence and profoundly touched with every drama scene. It's terrific stuff, and if I attempted to give the music any more of an analysis, I doubt I would be able to do it justice. All I can do is implore you to give it a listen for yourself. I promise you won't regret it. Rounding out the many things I love about Noir is a fantastic English dub released during the peak of ADV's dominance in the early 2000s. Compared to his more grandiose efforts, ADR director Matt Greenfield's take on Noir is a much more muted affair that complements the grounded realism of the show and how the characters develop throughout the episodes. Shelley Calene-Black brings a lot of maturity to Miriel Bouquet, playing her steely and reserved, but also with a strong hint of sarcasm.
Did you really think I'd let you take the easy way out? Not that I couldn't care less about you, or who you really are. But you're my key to finding the soul dots.
Hilary Haig, who is perhaps unfairly typecast for playing more shrill characters, delivers a very eerie performance as Chloe that only strengthens that attack dog analogy I mentioned before. Very serious about following her orders, but going through life with a suppressed aggression just raring to explode.
How ironic that you will die here. Au revoir, Muriel Bouquet.
The legendary Tiffany Grant makes for an excellent antagonist as Altena, her performance adding a lot of believability to the priestess's two-sided nature. Gentle and motherly when she needs to be, while decidedly cold and merciless when the truth comes out.
Your parents were both fools, who let affection for their progeny blind them to the sight of the truth. But they did serve quite well as lambs to be sacrificed upon your altar.
The crowning jewel of the cast, though, has to be Monica Rial as Kirika. I've heard some fans take issue with her performance becoming more emotional during the course of the series, but in seeing how Kirika's journey unfolds, I can't see it being played any other way. Kirika lacks a lot of individuality when we first meet her, with Monica accordingly playing her very quiet and withdrawn.
I don't know why. I know how to do things like this. How can I know? When I know nothing else.
Once she develops her own sense of worth through Muriel, it's only natural the character's feelings would become more transparent. In that sense, Monica was absolutely right in opening up Kirika's emotions the way she did. Without spoiling too much, the scene in which Kirika breaks down, begging Muriel to shoot her after they uncover the truth about her identity, is one of the most heartbreaking performances I've seen in an English dub to date. We've spent so long seeing these two connect beyond their profession that you can't help but feel upset for the girl as her partner chooses to walk away and abandon her.
Kill me, please.
Overall, ADV's dubbing of Noir is outstanding, and a definite highlight in all of the leading actresses' careers. As a long-time fan of the medium, I'm bound to always find new anime titles to love, but even after all these years, Noir continues to rank highly as one of my favourite series of all time. Its slow pace isn't for everyone, but if you're willing to get through those early episodes, I can't recommend it enough, especially if you're a fan of the girls with guns genre. Thankfully, compared to a lot of ADV's library, it's not that difficult to track down and watch. The original DVDs can be found reasonably cheap online, and having rescued the license following ADV's dissolution in 2009, Funimation has continued to keep the show circulated through DVD and Blu-ray re-releases. It's also readily available via their online streaming service, so what are you waiting for? Suspenseful as it is poignant, Noir is a shining example of the Girls with Guns genre, and a title I hope many more will come to regard as a classic for years to come. I am the Anime Advocate, and I'll see you all next time.